everybody, Young Grasshopper here. Welcome to the Cliffside Bunker in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And this is a customization video. I want to introduce to you my Utah card deck. It is a gaming accessory for playing Axton Alley's 1940 Global 2nd Edition. And I got this in the mail recently. I'm going to open it up and show you guys exactly what it is. This is a customization that I am very, very proud of. I've done many customizations to help the gaming experience of others when playing this game. But this particular one I'm proud of because I did it all by myself. I did this all on my own. Now, when it comes to my map files, I had lots of help. When it comes to my custom battle dice, I had lots of help. But this one here, I put in the grueling hours in Illustrator to come up with these. But before I share this with you, I want to show you and go all the way back in time to 2011, where I made my first card deck. I had some new friends coming over and we were playing 1940 Global, and I just automatically felt that it was going to be helpful to have some sort of reference around the table other than in the rule book for tracking national objectives, whether it be your own national objectives or your opponent's national objectives. And I came up with this, and I used Excel program, and I printed these off. I took them to my print shop and I had them laminated. It's amazing that I still have them sometimes on the back there as well when there's too many to fit on one. And I quickly realized, why am I using Excel program when I just learned how to use Illustrator in school in a college program? So I decided that I was going to use Illustrator no matter how long it took to learn how to develop a nice card deck. Now, this has been an evolution throughout the years, whether it was just a PDF file that I shared that you guys needed to go to your print shop and print it yourself, or maybe one of these websites like ArtsCow, which I put the template into the website, and then you guys finally had the ability to just go to a website, click, have something made and shipped to you. And it wasn't long afterwards that I met an individual who contacted me, and his name was Matt Todd, who really helped me to get into another website, a better website than ArtsCow, to provide this to the community. Now, after my experience with ArtsCow and my disappointment with the product that came from it, I was ready to just say, I'm done with all this. It was way too much work. But Matt contacted me and he says, I'm going to do this for the community, for your designs, even if it means that I hire a graphic designer, which I believe that I did. And then he worked with Make Playing Cards to template it all and everything. And he really helped me get out of that mentality that I was done with trying to provide this card deck through these types of websites. And then I'm very, very happy with Make Playing Cards. You can see here MPC, which is where this comes from. And I'm going to open this now. Something that's really interesting, I live in Scarborough, Ontario. I've blacked out my address, but I live in the east end of the GTA, which is the greater Toronto area. And the far other side, the far west side, is Mississauga. And it's interesting that this is from a printing place in Mississauga. I'm going to have to investigate this. I mean, I always thought that these were made in China, but I'm going to investigate and find out exactly, if these were made here in Canada or if there was just a jump spot to get them to me from China or whatever. But interesting. So here we go. It comes like this. Now, I did not get the box that they suggest or offer. There's a little card box that this could come in as an option, but I decided to keep the cost down. I am only doing a plastic piece. All right, so the wrap. So here it is. guys, and it's 72 cards. I'm gonna turn off the video. I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna look through it and give it a good check to make sure all the cards are there and whatnot, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna showcase what exactly we have here. Alright guys, we're back now, and here are the cards that you're gonna find in your Utah card deck. I'm gonna go through the different aspects of all the different types of cards you're gonna find here, but before I forget, I want to point out that in the description box of this video there's a link that will send you to a website called Make Playing Cards, and this is the only place you're gonna find these. So hit the link, it's gonna send you to my marketplace page, and that is where you're gonna be able to click, order, purchase these, have them sent and shipped directly to you. Now, I have two options there, and under Utah Deck, you can have standard smooth or plastic. What I have here is plastic. It's more durable. You can wipe it off if there's pizza sauce on it and whatnot. These will not rip either. They're close to being indestructible, really. I mean, you can crumple them up and they just won't. But trying to rip it, very difficult. Now, standard smooth is more of just a regular playing card, right? And I've identified these decks with brackets with an S for standard smooth. Those are going to be slightly cheaper, and brackets with a capital P for plastic, those are going to be a little bit more expensive. Okay, so those are the differences. When you go there and you see two card decks called Utah, look for the brackets that say S or the brackets that say P, depending on what material it is that you want. All right, now I'm going to go through these. I want to first just say thank you to everybody that has ever purchased cards like this in the past. Now, ArtsCow never gave their designers any kind of royalty or anything, but Make Playing Cards is really good. You can set an amount that you get from each card deck, and I've done that in my market space by setting it up so that I get $1 for every card deck purchase. So that's really great of them, and it's been working out so far. And I wanted to again thank Matt Todd for setting me up with this and this awesome website. So I highly recommend not just my card deck from Make Playing Cards. It's just a very, very well professional maintained website that I would suggest going there, looking around and seeing what else they have to offer. But so this is great that this has been on their website for a while now, available for purchase. Obviously, I'm doing an official YouTube video for my channel explaining my customization, but many decks have been purchased already, and I just want to say thank you to everybody going there and getting this deck. It helps support me. So the first thing that I want to talk about with this card deck are these national objective cards. Take a look. I'll try and focus them. And this is the reason why we need a card deck really to begin with, and it's got all to do with these national objectives. Some nations like Germany have many, and some have only a few or a couple. And going all the way back to that first game where I made that Excel card, I knew right away then and there that this game needed some sort of reference or cheat sheet around the table to help us track this information while in game. And this is where I've arrived with my Utah card deck. Let's take a look here at Germany, for example. And they have many national objectives here. And this one they begin the game with. Now, they're not going to collect 5 IPCs on top of their starting income when they first make their purchase. No, they're going to collect this at the end of their first turn during the collect income phase. Now, this one here as well, they could possibly collect for. That's, of course, if this condition still applies and they have not attacked Russia. But in some cases, most cases, they're collecting 10 IPCs because these two are achieved. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to achieve it. These conditions are already true in the game to begin the game. Now you can obviously lose it and lose that money, but the rest of these we don't have yet. We have to go and accomplish this stuff to claim that bonus income. So we have on the back this grayscale imagery, and if you take a look, it says important, meaning that this hasn't been achieved yet, where here obviously it says achieved, and we got that full color, and all the NOs on the backs are grayscale. And so therefore we can hold our card deck like so, and we can see that these are what we're collecting for and these are what we do not yet have. And also, for good etiquette, you could allow your opponent to come and just take your deck and look through it. Okay, I see that you're collecting these, and I can try and take them away, and I see that you're not collecting these, and I can continue to try and block you from getting these. Okay, so in my last deck, on the backs I had just the emblem of the nation, but I had the idea to make them like this because just experience around the table using the card deck, it just came to me that it's better to be able to look at the information, you know, whereas a lot of the time they were down and you'd have to pick them up and look over to see what the information is. But here we can see the conditions needed for all the NOs, but we can still associate that these we collect for and these we don't yet. So they're all like that with the grayscale. You can see that the emblems themselves also are even grayscale. And I'm very happy with these. I made a new deck just simply because I got this idea, and I went in and I played in Illustrator, and I saw how beautiful they could come out and how more efficient the card deck could be around the table, and that's why I decided to redesign them. Now this particular design has been around for almost a year now. They've been on the Make Playing Cards site. Okay, now I got two cards here that in the rule book they are listed with the national objectives, but to me they're more like a special situation. And you know, here we've got national objective on all of them, but here we've got special situation. I changed that. Reason being is these are like one-time bonuses, where these national objectives you collect perpetually as long as the condition is still true. Here we have Berlin. It is the first time the Soviet Union has taken control of Germany. So this is more like a one and done. If it happens, you're going to collect 10 right there. Here, same thing for France. It is the first time Paris has been liberated. You're going to collect 12 IPCs worth of any units. That's a special situation. So all in all, with the national objectives and those two cards, those two special situations, there are 37 here total. And again, even if the deck only consisted of 37 cards and that's it, then it would still be worth having because they just make such a difference. A lot of people have just explained to me over the years how important that this is around their game tables and the type of accessory it is, where it makes it essential. So moving on now, I want to tell you that in Make Playing Cards, they have decks and the amounts of cards in each deck split. And sometimes if you go over one card, you're going to pay the same price in that window as you would if you added more cards. So I've added these. These are really important, right? But we added even more just because a 60 card deck is the same cost as a 72 card deck, so we filled it up with more stuff just to get the most that we could out of the cost, the price that Make Playing Cards was charging. So I have here setup cards. Now remember, in a past video I talked about replacing our out-of-box trays with plastic piece trays. Well, to do that, we would get rid of the lids, and on the lids are the setup charts for this game. And it's the only place that the setup charts are found. They're not found in the rule book or whatever. So if you get rid of those trays and you replace them, sometimes you lose the lids, or maybe you gotta leave the lids hanging around because it's the only place you can go to get the setup charts. Now over on axandallies.org, I have provided a forum thread that has the setup charts. So many people sometimes just use their phone, they're looking at their screen phone while they set up the board, but here we have cards, makes it very, very easy to set up the game. So here we've got facilities, okay? So all naval bases, air bases, minor factories, and major factories are on these two cards, and then we get into the national setup charts. Now here's, say for example, Germany, and we have abbreviated a lot of the units here. INF for infantry, ART for artillery, TCB for tactical bomber, and then you get into C units, CRS. Now I know that there is a military type abbreviation for all these units, but I just went with something that was a little bit more layman term. So all of this fits, however, fits well on front and back, and also too, you can see that a big nation like Japan also fits on front and back of one card, as does Russia. But there's some cards that, and I hope the focus is working well, there are some cards where you can fit the entire setup on one face, and then you flip it over, you got the UK Pacific there, and on this face here you got China and France. Okay, and you see the abbreviations now. Yes, it is a little bit tricky in the beginning, but as you set up using these cards over the 1 or 2 games, it doesn't take long that you just instinctively know, okay, FTR is fighter, right? So on these 2 cards, we had the facilities. We couldn't fit them so much here. It would be too much. So basically anybody who's just setting up a small nation like Anzac and China, you know, go ahead and be the guy that sets up all these air base, naval bases, and minor factories, major factories. Now, it only takes 3 faces for the facilities, and of course on one side we've got Italy, and you only need 1 face for Italy. So these are extremely helpful, and another reason why I relaunched my card deck is to get these included. There was past card decks that didn't have these. So the last aspect that I want to explain about my Utah card deck, guys, are these research and development cards. There's 24 of them total, and I know that it's a lot of cards to fill up the deck. There's 12 breakthroughs, and you can see that I've kind of doubled them up here. Simply because if one person around the table gets, say, blitz tactics, and later somebody also gets a breakthrough and rolls the same on the same chart and gets the same breakthrough, they can have their own card, right? Now obviously we don't need to have 3, that's a little redundant, but even pairing them up, I mean, there's more than enough here. Anybody playing this optional rule is going to be able to use this, no problem. Now if you're not playing with this optional rule and you think, wow, these are too beautiful of cards to waste, well, you can always make a house rule to make it easier or more feasible or more fair in how these enter the game. It's up to your gaming group, right? And we can go over some house rule options when I do a video talking all about this research and development optional rule. But they're beautiful cards, and I'm very happy with them. So I wanted to show you the backs of these as well. They're color coded. This is one of the reasons why I decided to re-upload this video. I forgot to show you the colors, and I know you're thinking it's not a big deal. I mean, it's got a graphic there that says top secret, and again, top secret here, but I really wanted to show you the colors, and I'm very, very happy with Make Playing Cards, simply because the colors of the backs of this, and I spent a lot of time in the design process, but the colors in the backs of this dark blood red versus the light red in the border, and this dark blue versus the light blue around, I took a lot of effort in choosing those colors, and they came out fantastic in the printed product. And this is an issue that I had with ArtsCal, where a lot of the colors that I was choosing for the cards just weren't coming out in the actual physical product very well. So, and I also wanted to show you this reference card here. So this is a card that comes with the card deck, and it shows you the different breakthrough charts. There's 2 of them. And it also shows you that if you are rolling on a breakthrough chart and you roll a specific number, you instantly can see what it is that you get instead of always going through the rule book and whatnot. These are very useful for anybody playing this optional rule. So you can see that the red border on this reference card for chart number 1 is going to be associated with these red cards, and then on the back for chart 2 the blue is going to be associated with any of these cards here. So nice little premeditated design. Now the last card in the deck, card number 72, we have a reference card. I'll try and get that focused for you. So G40 Global reference card, order of play, and the starting income. And very good for new players to see when they're up, who's before them, who's after them. Starting income when it comes to just counting your income, collecting your income at the end of your turn. This here, the turn sequence, it's very useful for new players, but even so for experienced players. I use this myself all the time. It's a much more detailed turn sequence than the rule book gives you, because it's got things in there like the scramble, defending air units option, deploy kamikaze pilots, things like that. I know that, for example, I use this just because of one time I forgot to repair the damage on my factory in step 2, and when I went to go place my new units, mobilize new units, I realized that I couldn't place them all because I forgot to repair the damage on that factory. So I try to use this reference card as much as I can, you know, and I mean, it's just good practice. Okay guys, thanks a lot. So that is Utah Card Deck, and I gotta tell you, I'm very happy with it, very pleased. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I just wasn't happy with something that I went back into the design and just fixed it. But here, as far as I'm concerned, it's perfect. The borders are aligned, the colors are beautiful. Nobody has texted me, messaged me, or contacted me saying that they found a spelling error or anything. And I can honestly just say it's done and move on, which is very relieving actually, because I've got other decks that I want to start designing. It wasn't by accident that I called this card deck Utah Deck, because I got 4 more ideas. I got Omaha Deck, which is my tournament edition rules. I got Gold Deck, which is balance mod, national objectives, and a Juno Deck, and a Sword Deck. One of those will be an anniversary edition card deck accessory for those games. So just happy to move on. And again, sorry for re-uploading this video. There was a few things that were bothering me about the last one that I uploaded, and every time I do this I apologize because I lose the comments that you guys spent writing. So I'll just humbly ask you guys again if you could just put a comment below just explaining how you like the card deck, and you know, if you like it, if you find it useful or whatever. And I just want to say thanks for going out and purchasing them, and just along the way, perhaps you were in the beginning purchasing card decks that I was releasing that I just kept improving on. So cheers guys. Make sure that you be mindful, take a look at any of the thumbnails that are green like this. That's going to represent special customizations, whether it be rule documents or card decks or maps or anything unique, right? So cheers, thanks a lot. May all your rolls be ones. See you in the next video. Take care.